Hi guys, this is Allison from LA Cat Creations. How are you? Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And if you get anything from my work at Connect the Diamond Epiphany and Mind Explosion, a new book to read, a new author to explore, please consider supporting my work. The links are underneath this video. Pyramids, heavy, gem-packed pyramids, skulls, arts, artwork. You can find all of those fun things. You can view my portfolio at LACatCreations211.com. If you're interested in buying anything or supporting me, email and then tell me what you like, or if it's not sold, I can make another one, or I can go and see what I have available. And I show you pictures and all that fun stuff, and everything's negotiable, and I work with people. So please check out my website. That's another way you can support me and keep me fed, keep this channel going. I also have a channel membership right now that's at a 3D level. I did not make any more tiers. It's just to support me. And eventually, when I get a couple of members, I will have member only events. So that would be like a paint and sip, an oracle card reading, um, private discussions, whatever have you. And that will be only for members, but I want to grow that community first before I tackle anything fun like that and finding the time to do it. Because the next 2 months, I might be getting a part-time job. I had my interview. Oh, there's Odin. I had my interview the other day. Don't know what the results are going to be until the middle of this week. So we'll figure that out. Fun times. Um, so yeah, the message of Aquaria. Fun times. I'm sad because we're coming to the end of this book. Devastated. But this is going to be a really good chapter. I know it. I feel it. The mighty angel. Quote, and I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud, and a rainbow was upon his head, and his face was as it were the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire. End quote. Revelation. Quote, our time is just as ripe for a true Messiah as when the Star of Bethlehem appeared, and a new dispensation is just as needed and just as possible as when the Baptists herald the advent of the greatest of all pretensifiers. In a word, the world is sick and needs again a great physician for its soul, just as it does for its body. 1/3 of our youth being unfit to fight. The message of the zeitgeist, Dr. G. Stanley Hall. Quote, this same Jesus, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go into heaven. End quote. Acts. There's a lot to say there, but I'm going to hold back just a little bit. In recent years, the world has been in the throes of a crisis such as it has never yet faced to the same degree, for it is travailing in the birth pangs of the sixth sub-race. This disturbed world conditions, however, are but the result of the overlapping of two cycles and a reaping of an inevitable results of their conflict. Then will come the planting of the seed for the new cycle and the gradual growth of the new, and we trust better crop to be gathered in its ripened perfection at the ushering of the next great cycle, racial cycle. Sorry, guys, my brain. I'm already getting channeled. We're here. Hi. We're what mm, what really hits home for me here is the overlapping of two cycles, which is yes, truth. We are now, and we're planting this seed. So a lot of us are now the way showers planting the seeds of like how humanity needs to go in and do the inner work, find the God in all things, including themselves, self-love, not getting out of the judgment, getting beyond polarity, duality. And we're ripening that crop right now. We are all seeding this, and this is what we need to be seeding. And this is going to be a slow growth cycle. During the coming cycle, the conditions will at least be outlined or the seed sown, which will blossom and mature in perfection in the sixth great race. This process of preparation for the sixth great race must last throughout the whole 6 and 7 sub-races. Of this, our present fifth Aryan great race. But as the sixth sub-race lays down or outlines those advances destined to be completely worked out in the sixth great race, we today find men's minds turn to new ideas, discoveries of new mechanical devices, new interest in man's inner forces, communication between the incarnate and discarnate. We're here. Hi. In short, there is scarcely a realm of nature that man today is not beginning to inquire into, not a force he is not studying to utilize, or a condition he is not dreaming of improving. All these things are but the signs of the coming great age. But only a man conquers his own nature, utilizes the hidden forces within himself, and correlates with the divine law of being. Will the promise be fulfilled? And as the seventh subrace will outpicture the seventh great race, we will find in its prophecy of the ultimate rest and fulfillment promised to the children of God. We're here, as Poltergeist would say. This is us. Hi. Let's seed those crops. Let's go, guys. Hence, this is a critical period, for in this coming era, the transition must be made from the old ideals and conditions which predominated in the materialistic cycle of the fifth great race to those which will predominate in the sixth great race in ages to come. And such marked transitions are always periods of great unrest, strife, and inharmony between the contending ideals which are seeking manifestation, the old and the new. The new ideals must ultimately prevail, however, and be accepted by the majority of mankind and be put into actual practice. Yet the opposition will not fully overcome until those who are wedded to the old have either accepted the new or have passed on into the higher life, where they may have the opportunity both to rest and also to consider the truth of new ideas. So this is profound. Once again, more profoundness. Holy crap, I gotta write that down. Where is it? Where's my papers? Hello. While I am looking for the paper, I will just tell you that I had to take some things down and cover some things up, only because I had a job interview and I had to do it down here, even though it was on the phone, but I had a video call and I had to cover my little sign and then take my flag down. This is this is us. And this is what we're doing right now. Right now. Okay, sorry. I had to write that down. So I could find it again without having to boggle my mind. Um, we're here. This is very important that we really take in. This is what I've been saying on this channel for a very long time. And it's going to take a long time for people to integrate getting rid of the old paradigms, the programs, the narratives, the hate, the this and that paradigm, the polarity, the duality, getting rid of all of that. And when humanity can do the work on themselves, everybody doing the work for themselves, on themselves, well, then things really spring forward. We're here right now seeding these ideas and concepts. A lot of us that are way showers are the ones that are putting out these very controversial, what do you mean I have to give up hate? What do you mean I can't hate these people? What do you mean they can't be hung? Right? I get so many people who don't check my workout that think I'm going to just keep sending stuff to JQ. Do you know how many people send me messages to get things to JQ? I'm sorry. I go email him. And not because he's not my best friend, but don't think he doesn't already have this information, because he does. A lot of the stuff people send me. This stuff, a lot of people have kind of ignored, including those that are on this spiritual journey that are still in polarity. They're still in these people are bad and we are good. God is only light and nothing else. God is all things, so that includes Satan and the whole paradigm of evil. Tobacco, by the way. Water. We got a lot of storms coming in. It'll be fun. Thanksgiving weekend. Anywho, while the law of cycles rules all manifestations, it must never be forgotten, sorry, that man is a free agent. And hence, within certain limits, either can retard or accelerate the manifestations of the various cycles. Like I said, our thoughts become things, and what we think about manifest, but that takes a long time because you have to actually, in 3D, 4D, 3, 4, you have to put action into motion in order for these manifestations to actually materialize. It is well known to the occultists that humanity is at least 5,000 years behind the point in evolution. Yes. It should have reached during the past cycle due to its refusal to work in harmony with divine law. Hence, it is not blind fate or natural forces of evolution that can make up the deficiency and prepare conditions for the bringing forth of the Christ consciousness broadcast in humanity. It will be accomplished only when through the free will humanity, the free will choice of man, a majority consciously choose and diligently strive to cultivate the Christ consciousness in their hearts, begin to manifest it in their lives. It is therefore well at this time to look deeply into the philosophy of the manifestation of life and try to realize our responsibility and learn how the use of our free will can either advance or retard the manifestation of the Christ. Each of the 7 great races through which humanity finds expression in one great cosmic day period or round is governed by a mighty celestial being called its progenitor, who is one of the 7 angels of the presence. sent forth into all the earth, the regents of the 7 sacred planets of our system, while each of the 7 subraces of each great race also has a special guidance of its own divine ruler or angel. In the 4th great race, the physical foundations of mankind were laid. In the 5th great race, especially in the 5th subrace, man reached the most objective expression of number 5, the greatest development of material advance through his wonderful inventions, physical appliances, etc. So in the 6th subrace, must he manifest the forces of number 6, the Christ force, preparatory to its perfect manifestation in the 6th great race. In the 5th subrace, manas, or mind, reached a high state of development, for all during the 5th great race, thinking man was developing and perfecting that which had been begun and then perverted in the 4th race, especially in its 5th subrace. Hence, as we are now just entering the cycle of the 6th subrace of the 5th, there will be a constantly growing tendency for mind to rise to greater heights and correlate with the spiritual consciousness, Buddha manas, of self, divine self. This will continue with increasing power all through the 6 and 7 subraces and will become the dominant factor in shaping the evolution of the 6th great race in the ages yet to come. Although 6 is a number of the unrest of the Christ force back of evolution, we must now, out of the unrest, begin to reap for the race the spiritual fruit, or the Christ man, with his mind illumined by the Christ consciousness. This can be completed, however, only in the 6th great race. The 5th and the 6th angels mentioned in the 9th chapter of Revelation are the rulers of their respective subraces. The 5th coming to close the cycle of the 5th subrace, and the 6th to prepare for the coming 6th subrace. But another mighty angel mentioned in our text refers to the great divine teacher, whom all the world is now expecting after the 6th angel has sounded his trumpet. And it is comforting to those who follow the Christian teachings to find both how and when the Great One will appear clearly set forth in their own scriptures, namely after the 1st and 2nd woes are past. For the 3rd woe will not be completed until the close of the sub-race, many ages hence. While we are told that it is not for you to know the times or the seasons, still, according to our great general calculations, the 4 phases of the 2nd woe should end approximately about 1940. For we know that we are now entering upon the 2nd woe, and that each of its 4 phases must yield to mankind its great lesson. The fields of earth must be purified, the chaff gathered together and burned. The minds of men must be plowed and harrowed by the bitter experiences of the woes through which humanity is passing, that they may be prepared for the sowing of the new seed. Era, the Great One, can come and gather his elect for the 4 winds. There must be a period of overlapping while the seed takes root, spring up and brings it to bear fruit. This will be a time of turmoil and testing, for the old is being swept away and the new has not yet manifested. Only those who, by their love and wisdom, their devotion and patience, prove their ability to receive from the Master the seed of the new ideals and sow it, even during the dark and discouraging conditions of this transitional period, will be provided worthy to be his chosen disciples when he comes. For in this age are the words especially true, by their fruits ye shall know them. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doth the will of my Father, which is in heaven. Well, a definite understanding of this period in the Great One shall appear, many may relieve the minds of some who have feared the end of the world was at hand. It may also tend to discourage others who are keyed up to great effort to be especially good for a time that they may be selected as his special followers within a short period. Yet, considering all the preparation necessary and the work to be accomplished in humanity, the time is all too short. For the first, it will be a test of faith. For the second, a test of endurance. Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. It is far easier to endure pain and harrowing experiences or patiently to plod through daily duties for a time when buoyed up by the hope of a quick reward. Then it is to go on working, striving, and conquering through an indefinite period. The latter is the greater test, for it can be continued only when patience and trust have been built into the character. The cloud in which the mighty angel is clothed as he descends to earth refers not only to the cloud of radiant glory of his Father with the holy angels, but also to the appearance of physical embodiment, which will seem so physical as to cloud or obscure his divinity, except to those whose intuition and love are so developed as to correlate with his consciousness and thus penetrate the cloud and know him as he is. We're putting a pause on that. I'm not convinced. And this is not to say that there is going to be a one person that's already incarnated who is holding this really high spark of frequency within their bodies. What I do perceive and believe and heart align with at this moment in time, it could change. The verdict is still out. This is coming through everybody who is doing the work on themselves and is gaining higher Christ consciousness, is exuding the Christos, is bringing forth into humanity the love frequency at its purest, not in a hypocritical way, not in a dualistic way. This is coming from a lot of us. I don't necessarily believe one guy is going to come or a female is going to come down, and it would assume to be the divine feminine because we are going in Aquarius, if not already there. I think it's coming through all of us. The rise of the consciousness, the rise of the new formation of consciousness, the new theories, the new inventions, the newness, the old system going away. A new system is being created. Whether you agree with it or not is up for another debate. But this is the wave of a new era incoming now. And we're planting the seeds for the frequency to just envelope humanity at large. The manner of the manifestation is clearly set forth by the angel who spoke at the time of his ascension, namely, this same Jesus, which is taken up from you into heaven, shall so come in like manner as you have seen him go into heaven. While they were talking with him about his kingdom, suddenly he disappeared from their sight, and in like manner shall he reappear. This plainly shows that an avatar is not a mortal who enters the world through the gate of birth, but is a celestial being who descends into manifestation only under certain circumstances and conditions, as we have fully explained elsewhere. The voice of Isis, and we're just started that. Because of many misconceptions that have grown up around the story of Jesus' life and the many cruel misunderstandings that have been fastened like milestones around the neck of humanity in his name, and because of many crimes of inhumanity of men to men that have been executed through the literal interpretation and arbitrary enforcement of man-made creeds erected on medieval concepts of law, natural laws, science, and religion. Because of all these misapplications of his teachings, sorry, the great teacher must come at the close of his cycle to straighten out all the crooked mental paths and bring comfort to all his true followers, who, in spite of all these drawbacks, have met him in the inner sanctuary of the heart, and who therefore know him face to face and heart to heart. This is why, in the 1980s, Ra channeled through Carla Ruckert in The Law of One. This is why Quo, who's a part of that social memory complex, is now in this current day and time being channeled. This is why the Arcturians, Palladians, councils, future selves, all kinds of higher selves, and all these entities being channeled. This is why it's happening now, and more of an influx of people are bringing out their information, channeling their information from, let's say, Saint Germain or Elmira or Separus Bay or an angel, wherever, whoever. People are doing this on a larger scale. And a lot of people are starting to sound the same. The messages are sounding the same. The learning teachings are said differently, but in essence are the same. Different modes and methods of application of meditations or of rituals of, here, you want to light sage, you want to do this with the salt, but maybe someone else has another practice. It all still works. Steps might be different, but the outcome is always the same for the most part, in my estimation. Just as Jesus appeared to his disciples and their followers only, 13 times after his resurrection by lowering the vibratory rate of his spiritual body, love that, until it became visible to their physical senses. And just as he again raised its vibrations until it disappeared from the physical plane when his message was given, so he will appear at his second coming according to the promise, so shall he come in like manner. Who knows? When you raise your frequency, you can see the aliens or the extraterrestrials out of the other lands. We can see them. They're here. They've been here. Those in Telos and in Inner Earth, Sasquatch, they're interdimensional. Who knows? If we raise our frequencies to meet the avatar, is that the disclosure? Good hypothesis. Possibly. In matters not under what name the various groups recognize him, whether as the Western Buddha, expected by the Tibetans, and certain Buddhist sects of other countries are under the Western term of the Christ used in Christian countries. It will be the same celestial being we know as Jesus, who will manifest to all, first to one group and then to another in all parts of the world, until all mankind have had the message of the new age proclaimed to them. To avoid the mistake of believing every cry of, lo, here is Christ, lo, there, we have only to determine whether or not the claim be a mortal born of woman. If so, he is not the avatar, for the avatar is not mortal. So it's going to be a celestial being, which would be just pure light. and through all of us, because we are going to be eventually Homo Illuminus. Possibly. Just giving my perception here. The rainbow about his head symbolizes the light of his complete and perfect spiritualized aura, in which, like a rainbow, all the 7 colors or forces of the 7 planetary hierarchies are perfectly blended. His face is said to be like the sun because of the white light of absolute truth and the warmth of divine love, which his presence radiates and which shall quicken the seeds of the teachings for the new age. His feet as pillars of fire indicates that his contact with the earth plane will illume the understanding and also consume the false ideas of mankind as with fire. As the mighty angel or avatar draws closer to the earth, the truth, the light of truth, penetrates more and more clearly through the clouds of misconception and misunderstanding, and many, many minds awaken and determine to see and understand the truth for themselves. They can no longer accept as truth what which another says they must believe. In other words, the little mind seeds of advanced cosmic truth, which has lain so long hidden in the darkness of ignorance and spiritual blindness and covered up with the demands of trade, the seductions of the senses, and the allurements of selfish ease, all over the world are beginning to feel the stir of spiritual life at this new springtime of humanity. Soon the hard shells of seeds will burst asunder, and the tiny sprouts of cosmic truths for humanity's guidance and salvation will force themselves up into the light. And these shoots are destined to grow, multiply, and produce a mighty crop of advanced ideals, which will demand new world conditions. For as the light of truth shines into the minds of men, they begin to think for themselves, to see more clearly, to reason, compare, and draw conclusions. Already they refuse any longer to be led like children or driven like cattle by those who lay claim to divine authority. Especially is this true after all the suffering that humanity has experienced during the first woe, now past, during which mankind has been brought face to face with his own creations and their results. The woes of the closing cycle are symbolized in all occult teachings by the glyph of the serpent, swallowing or biting its tail, or Ouroboros. For it is the evil creation of man, the serpent, in its lowest aspect, that has slimmed the fair ideals of mankind, and under the serpent's power, thus to degrade and debase, is recognized by the race and is uplifted by a majority and made to swallow its tail or close the old cycle. A process preparatory to growing a new skin. It cannot be turned into the rod of power for the new 6 sub-race to take up, and like Aaron, make it swallow all the crawling vipers of the Egyptians. These woes are also symbolized by the scorpion stinging itself to death with its own tail. The same idea is suggested in the 9th chapter of Revelation, where we read of the forces which close the old cycle. Quote, "For their power is in their mouth and in their tails. For their tails were like unto serpents, and head stings, and with them they do hurt." End quote. How shall we know him and he know us? To know others, we must be able to enter into their thoughts, share their aspirations and ideals, and work side by side with them. Unity! Just so we shall know him and he know us. Those who are already dwelling in the Christ consciousness are feeling his deep love and compassion for humanity. His impersonal desire is to help all who will listen, without recognition or praise for himself. All such are even now being caught up to meet him in the air or in thought, and all who are doing his works, helping to prepare the world for his coming. Verily, all such shall find him very near, ready to give loving counsel and reach out his powerful hand and make his presence manifest. When sorrow, discouragement, and fear sweep over their souls, and they cry out like frightened children for the light and comfort. We will know him in the only way that real knowing can ever manifest, by personal and intimate experience and realization. Merely to have a mental conception of such a divine teacher will avail us little, for we must know him face to face and heart to heart. Hence, these years of preparation are given. You are here now. He is now very close to earthly manifestation and can be both seen and felt and personally communed with by all who are truly his disciples. Let us pray that none of us shall hear the faithful words when he comes, "Depart from me, I never knew you." Let us then gather together in one thought and remain looking steadfast toward heaven, or living in the consciousness of the higher life and endeavoring to do his works here on earth until he comes. Profound! Profound. This whole thing, this whole chapter is talking about now. Its profoundness is beyond. All of us got to come, whether he is coming in a celestial body or not. This is why most of us are here. And you're going to do it in your own unique way, from your own unique paradigm. Mine is coming from a spiritual standpoint. It's coming from a neutral place where I don't have religion, but I know the Christ is within me. I have channeled Yeshua. We are here in this in-between stage, seeding, tilling the soil, giving the nutrients for that shoot and that seed to open up and sprout. We are we're all growing. Some of us are already the trees bearing fruit, and many of our humanity are just coming out of the ground. And everybody else is in stages of growth. The biggest holdback, in my estimation, and from what upstairs, my higher self and the entities therein, it's not loving yourself in its fullest authenticity. It is not understanding how the laws work. And the toughest cookie to crumble, because we want that cookie crumble, we want to eat it, is the fact that God is in all things. And we're just divine expressions of an infinitude of energy that's traversing space, time, space. We need to recognize that we are the Christs, that we are the consciousness that is bringing in the new era. That the children and the generations that are going to precede us are going to be the ones experiencing the great race. We're the sub race. And eventually, when our physical bodies and our shells pass and transcend into energy, like it said earlier, we'll be able to heal and then either choose to come down in manifestation like Yeshua, or incarnate, which I would just say carnate, or merge with another self. You can do that. We're doing that now. I'm so glad that I read this. Once again, it validates a lot of things that I say on it's just profound, and sometimes I can't put words to how I feel. A lot of what I just read was deep inside me for many, many, many years, and I knew a lot of these truths for my own heart alignment. I'm not saying you need to agree with me because I want you to go within, and that's really what is the trick and the secret to knowing it all. Is going within. You know it all already. And you're only knowing it to the limited capacity of 3, 4D. As we expand, the truth expands, the frequency expands, and more things are there for us to find. We can do this together. But it takes a lot of reflection, introspection, and looking in the mirror and holding yourself accountable to your thoughts. What you are willing into intention, what you're putting out and manifesting into this world. Because if you're still feeding and hating and pointing fingers and shaming and blaming and not manifesting the future you want, and being a hypocrite about it too, we're going to take the slow route. And it seems like we're doing that already. So buckle up, buttercups. Buckle up. This was an incredible read. Thank you guys for showing up. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I got a lot of viewers, but not a lot of likes. What's up with that? Makes me sad. This gets out to more people. I'm just doing my mission. That's all I'm doing. That's why I'm here. That's why many of you are here. So check out my channel membership. Setting each and every one of you love, light, compassion, grace, shielding, and protective energy. Please go within. Be the shoulder. Be the lighthouse. Seed your truths. Check out my website, AllykatCreations211.com. So you can find a lot of my pyramids and different types of pyramids and other types of pyramids and all kinds of fun artwork. Holidays are here, just about. Please get things in before, because I'm going to have to ship it whenever, and I don't rely on any postal service. So please make sure if you want something custom made, you get that stuff in now, especially that I might be starting to work a full-time and a part-time job. Time will then start becoming limited. I hate the time comparison. It's all illusion, but I do need sleep and to clean and to cook for myself at some point. Guys, have a great, blessed, beautiful rest of your day, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. Bye for now.